What is up, YouTube? How y'all doing? I'm starting to feel just like you guys, man. This is such sad information, and we have to try our best to do something about these adults going after kids, man. It's I thought we had a handle on this, and come find out that we don't. Hacker finds horrific website with thousands of child predators. This is insane. One of our people sent me this. Tika. I don't even know if I should be saying people's name now. I'm like trying to keep everything hidden. But check this out, man. We're gonna get into it. Y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that bell.
Before I ever caught a single predator in my life, this was the beginning.
Let's check this out. Wow.
Oh my God.
Because the owner of the website happened to be a Democratic politician and ran for Congress 2 times.
You're basically hunting down these people that are exploiting children sexually on the internet and in person.
Yeah.
I know you have a couple of horrific stories. One guy that was, I think it was his daughter in the bathtub.
Yeah. So I'll start, kind of where that all came from. I was at a friend's house, and I got a text message from my friend's wife, and it was multiple photos of screenshots of this website that was. It was clear from the screenshots that the website was on the regular internet. Anyone could access it. And should I name the website?
Yeah.
It was. It's no longer up, but it was 𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗞𝗦. So rape .co. Then that website went down, and it ended up being 𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗞𝗦, like T as in Thomas, O as in Oscar. So I see this website, and I see the content in these screenshots that my friend's wife sent me. She doesn't know anything about computers, but she has kids herself, and she was like, "Can you do something about this?"
Wow.
And I read this content, and one of them was talking about a mother that wanted to have kids, and then have the kids be raped, so that when the kids grew up, that they could, have incest and go even further. I mean, I'll pull up the screenshots because I'd like to explain like where my head was at that time. But as soon as I read these messages, I guess a switch flipped in my brain, and I left my friend's house immediately as I got the text, and I went home. I didn't know for sure that I was going to be able to get into this website. I just knew I wanted to do something about it. And I found a vulnerability in their platform. I got in, and from that point on, I started to exfiltrate the data every single day, all of the users. I noticed that a lot of people were soliciting child pornography on the site, so I didn't want to download those messages in case of the fact that I pull in some images that I'm not allowed to have, and nor do I want. So I made sure to only download the publicly facing stuff, which didn't include. It had some very graphic text, but it didn't include anything illegal, which I think it should be illegal to talk that way. But it was horrible stuff.
What were some of the? So you started this basically from a text conversation with a concerned mom. That's what got you into it.
Yeah.
What's some of the text that you saw on 𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗞𝗦.com?
I'd like to read them to you if you want. I still have them.
Read them.
Wow.
So this is before I ever caught a single predator in my life. This was the beginning, and what set my brain off to want to help. But this is before I even heard of this website, before I heard of anything to do with it.
A lot of people feel as though the kids should be able to make their own decision. A kid should be able to make their own decision.
So the title, should I read these? Like, they're graphic.
Yeah, read them.
So the title of this post is, "Who wants to bang these little and then somebody replied underneath, "I've got first dibs on the little middle." Joseph Fritzl, Maximilian, there's 2 different users there. Pick for yourselves. And this was the photo that they used.
Oh my God.
That's just one of three. Three text
These
messages.
girls look like they're 6.
Very young, yeah.
Six,
And then there was that one
5,
story
6,
where I
7.
told you about I can't see it, but the story I told you about the bathtub situation where there was a father who posted their child in the bathtub, and it said underneath of it, they have no idea what's going to happen to them tonight. And then underneath of that, there were people that were part of this website who were saying what they were going to do to this child. And this wasn't just some fantasy that this guy was talking about. This was a guy posting his child in the bathtub, like for real. Like it really was his child. I assume he was a man, but it was a parent. So that really got to me. And then I got another part of this text message. I'll just read one more of the three. And this one says that they are a 16-year-old. A lot of these people were role-playing to be children. And in our investigations, we found out there was a lot of actual kids on this website, real kids, that were under 18 at the time of this when I hacked the site.
What are they doing on there?
They're selling their bodies for money to these
Kids?
To these people, yeah.
It's kids prostituting themselves.
Yes. Yeah. So one of them, I don't know if this is a real 16-year-old or not, but what was said was pretty disturbing regardless. It said, God, I really want to be a mom. I need someone who wants to impregnate my little 16-year-old. When I have our daughter, I'd let you do whatever you wanted from whatever age. Make me watch as you hurt her, making her scream, or if you prefer to gently groom her, teaching her how to lovingly. Don't worry if it's a boy. You can watch me teaching him how to properly a woman, teaching him how to slap and hurt me to. He'd be so cute trying to hard, but so little.
Oh my God.
So when I got these text messages and reading them even current day right now,
this is the first time I am so happy they doing a lot of beep, 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 because you can fill in the blanks and still be like, oh my God, I can't believe this. I can't believe it.
It makes me sick to my stomach to even think about, and I know they're gone. So, not all these people are still out there, but the website's down.
How many people are on this website?
At first, I thought it was a couple thousand. When I cleaned up the database and figured it out, there's about 7,000 people in just this one website, and we have a total of 5.
You have 7,000 people on one website.
And you couldn't become a member of this website unless you answered an application where you had to answer a question that was something like, are you okay with doing something horrible with a 3-year-old? You had to answer that question in detail. I forget the exact verbiage of the question. It's posted somewhere in regards to this interview or Project Veritas, one or the other. But you had to fill that out to become a member of the website you just saw, and which would tell me that either you're an undercover cop or you're an actual predator on the site. I mean, who would answer a question like that, even if they were just curious?
Is there multiple? So it's a whole questionnaire you have to do to get into the site.
There was a few questions, I think 2 or 3, that were really horrible, but you had to answer them, or they would not approve you to join the site.
Is there any other prerequisites to get on sites like these?
Yes. So what I learned in this process, doing the investigation and exporting, everything that I could legally export, I found that they used a chat app called Telegram, and they were going back and forth talking about and they would call it cheese pizza and use all kinds of different phrases for it. And I realized there was these moderators in the chat rooms outside of the website, where if you would send them child pornography, they would let you into another group which was full of child pornography. But of course I couldn't do that. So I never got to see past that part. But I do have evidence of that being a thing because I exported all the chat logs. So I can, it shows that if I were to send something horrible to one of those moderators, I would have seen something even worse, which is hard to imagine, than, we are already seeing here.
What did you do with that information? And actually, let me backtrack. I'm sorry. How long did it take you to crack into that website and get this information?
I wasn't sure, like I said, when I got the text messages, and I wanted to try to my goal was to just take the site down. And I knew I could make that happen because it was on the clear net, regular internet for anyone to visit. I knew I could do that, but I didn't know if I could actually get access to their server. Once I found the vulnerability, maybe an hour, 2 hours at the most, if I could remember correctly. It wasn't long. And they never found out they were hacked. So to this day, they never found out. They will never find out. I mean, unless somebody in that database is watching this, now you know. I have your data, and we will find you. So I actually recommend you come forward so we don't have to make the story up for you.
What did you do with this information?
So
I like him.
As soon as I got the information, I thought it was a slam dunk. I thought like these people were going to jail. I thought that maybe I solved something that the FBI or somebody was working on for a long time. And I instantly went to the exploited children tip line, and I submitted, saying who the owner of the website was, that I had access to all the data, and that they were welcome to have it, basically. Then I reached out to a bunch of news stations, and talked to a ton of reporters, and all of them were super excited to talk to me.
What news stations?
Sun Sentinel, Daily Mail, Business Insider, Fox, some influencers, Ronan Farrow, Candace Owens, they both didn't read my messages. But as for the news stations, I had full conversations with the reporters. They knew what they were getting themselves into. They were very excited about reporting on it. And
I hear this, right?
Once it got back from legal, they weren't allowed to report on it. And I said, well, okay, if you're not allowed to report on the illegally obtained material that I have, just let parents know that this website exists, and whatever you want, but just keep whatever illegal out of it. I just want parents to know that this website exists. You don't need to put my name. You don't need to put the material that I obtained. Nothing. Every single one of them completely disregarded me. I sent a lot of those notes over to Project Veritas with some evidence of that, but not a single person until now has done anything about this.
Not any conservative media, not any liberal media.
Y'all hear this, right?
Because unfortunately, that's the day and age we live in now, right? None of them would touch this.
No.
None of them want to be involved in saving kids.
When I say I tried so hard, and nobody wanted to do anything.
So what wound up happening with the information?
So
law enforcement didn't want to get involved either.
No, so I called my attorney locally, and then I called an attorney in Virginia, because the owner of the website happened to be a Democratic politician and ran for Congress 2 times. His name is 𝗟𝗓𝗡𝗞𝗦 Larson, and I'll explain more about him in a second. But I talked to a lawyer in Virginia because I knew that's where he lived, and I wanted to see what I could do from there. So the lawyer in Virginia basically told me she didn't know what to say. She never heard of anything like this. The lawyer in Florida reached out to the local task force, let them know that I had access to the information, and then as well as doing that tip line. So from that point on, all of these news stations and all the law enforcement connections, whatever you want to call them, they all were fully aware that 𝗟𝗓𝗡𝗞𝗦 Larson was running this website, that he was, he ran for Congress twice, that he was an extremist, he did crazy things, but he did run for Congress 2 different times in Virginia. So I thought that they would take that seriously. Well, completely ignored.
Completely ignored it. Project Veritas gave me access to some of the stuff you guys are working on together. Yeah. And in one of those videos, you're reading a quote from 𝗟𝗓𝗡𝗞𝗦 Larson. I'm going to read it right now. Mm-hmm. This is from 𝗟𝗓𝗡𝗞𝗦 Larson, Democratic politician that ran for VA Congress multiple times, ran a website for pedos to discuss their dark intentions and fantasies. Here's the quote. "It's not enough to kids and take their innocence. You also need to reproduce the next generation with them. Let them see that you prefer to the offspring you have with them than to continue to have with a woman who is no longer jailbait. The quote continues. But you can still sometimes. Just let her know, though, that what you love her for the most is producing with you a fresh, new, young girl, and that this is her main value and contribution hat. You think fondly of her. This is disgusting.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You think fondly of her because that beautiful daughter reminds you of her.
It's unimaginable. It's like, how do people think this way? But there's so many people that think this way that it's alarming. Is the word for it. I don't know how else to put it. It's way more people than you'd think, than you'd like to believe.
Code words: pizza and cooking, and cheese pizza stands for child pornography.
Yep.
Cheese pizza?
This is disgusting.
Yeah. It gets only worse than that. You know, it's really bad.
How much worse does it get?
Worse. I mean, people. This is a person talking about it, and it makes me uncomfortable just as much as it makes you uncomfortable. But you know, these people, what they're talking about, they're doing. You know, this guy isn't some guy with a bunch of fantasies. This guy got arrested 6 months after. Nobody did anything about it. And, you know, like I said, I try my best. He gets arrested 6 months later with a 12-year-old at a layover at an airport after he raped and kidnapped her. So not only did he talk about it, he did it. And he got caught. You know, as for some other people, I don't know how much more I can go into it, but one guy we're investigating, as of 2020, which is after I submitted the data, he got in trouble for doing something horrible to a child as well, became a fugitive, and I think they eventually got him. But you know, we're not even close to through the list yet, and you know, we got a lot more people to expose, and they're not just talking about it; they're doing it.
Let's backtrack real quick because you kind of breezed over what happened. So, the guy with the daughter in the bathtub.
Yeah.
What happened?
That guy with the daughter in the bathtub, I don't know where he went. He's part of the database.
I'm talking about the guy that got arrested in Denver.
Oh, that's Nathan Larson.
Okay.
So Nathan Larson, he got arrested 6 months after the fact. After I hacked his site, after I submitted it to the authorities, to all the news stations, he gets arrested with a 12-year-old girl and gets arrested for kidnapping. And I don't think he got charged with rape, but he got the kidnapping charge. Nathan Larson then went to federal prison for that. And, you know, the website went down. And, you know, he sat in prison for, I forget what the sentence was, but it was quite a long time. And to my knowledge, when you're a person like him, you are going to be you're going to be separated in a federal prison from the regular inmates. And, you know, spoiler alert, but Nathan Larson's dead. And the reason why he's dead is due to starvation. The news says that it's suicide. If I had to guess, the inmates that were, you know, responsible for feeding him just let him, you know, starve to death. And I believe he deserved every second of that pain.
You and me both. So there's been 5 other sites that you've cracked into.
So when I hacked Rapey, Nathan left backups of his previous websites on the same server. So it really only took one site to get all 5.
How many names altogether?
I can't give you an exact number. I'm not sure. I bet it's tens of thousands.
Hey everybody, I'm Sean Ryan. Click here to subscribe to the Sean Ryan Show YouTube channel for the hottest and most compelling interviews that you will not see anywhere else.
Man, yeah, Sean Ryan. Shout out to Sean Ryan, man. Definitely go check his channel out. Go check out what he's doing. And I am very interested, Sean. Oh, yeah, I am very interested. This is wow, because this guy we got another video, y'all, that I'm gonna do on this same gentleman right here. I don't know his name or anything, but it's funny how the movies and your perception of people, because this guy that's doing the talking, that's hacking in and helping these kids, I hate to say this, but I would think that he was a predator. He looks and act like a predator. When you, what you call it, casting. If you was casting something and he looks like somebody would be casting that role, but in actuality, he's helping people. And this is how Hollywood and our brain is all twisted, because one other lady has said that it's not the ugly looking monster type person. It's not that. Hollywood wants you to think that. It's the person, it's your teacher, it's the police officer, it's your person that's running for office. I forgot what he said, but he said he ran for office in Virginia twice. It's the people, the newscasters, it's the people that, I don't want to get involved with that. This is too big of a story for them to get involved in. That's what the problem is. I don't want to, I just want to go with the small fish. But we have to do something to stop this stuff, man. The next video, y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for the next video, which is going to show him actually going to a website and see how many people that actually hit you back after you say you're a 13-year-old. Yeah, this is crazy, man. So I'm gonna get on up out of here. Hey, y'all take it light, take it slow. Tell them Uncle Mike told you so. Peace out.